It's the Apple Show.
Wow. Wow. Is that any way to intro the #1 Apple podcast in the world? Or
It's
is that
the only way.
Oh, because we're at the tippy top now and like there's nowhere to go now. So we're just
When you're at the
welcome to
top of the
Apple
mountain, you're always looking down. And it doesn't matter that we're late. It really doesn't, frankly. Nobody's got it.
So if you were like, hang on, I got to go to my car and listen to the Apple Show, people would know, oh, you're going to watch GeniusBar.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, it's been a crazy, like, there's Apple news at this stage. Unfortunately, not any of it is, I mean, it feels like a pattern that it keeps recurring here, but I feel like it's not good news.
Describe what you mean.
Wayne Ma's story that came out is not the best. Vision Pro stuff, the Vision stuff. I guess that's not bad news, but I feel like they're clueless. Apple Intelligence is still terrible.
Yeah. Well, did
Mark
you see?
Gurman and I are still beefing.
Wow.
Things
Did
are
you
all
see
well.
that Apple recently changed more of their Apple Intelligence branding?
Oh, by the way, can I just say,
Yeah.
beautiful video that you made.
Thank you.
By the way.
Thank you.
Yes, I just sat back because, okay, I watch your videos regardless of what is in them, and most of the time I know what's in them, because we're like the same person making the same videos. And, but this one, I was like watching, like I watch all of your videos, but then I got hooked. You like hooked me on accident, and then I was like 80% through the video. And I was like, holy shit, I'm in this. This is a good video.
It's funny because that's also what the retention said. It said it was like my normal line for retention, which would be like here, and then it was like this video retention.
Oh, good. Hell yeah.
Which is funny. Video.
It very
hit
compelling.
100K, and I'm gonna give myself an applause for that.
Hell yeah.
Because I didn't think it was gonna hit it.
Who needs an iPhone news story? Nobody.
Mainly, the reason this video didn't perform like I wanted it to is because I was a month late.
I mean,
like, this video is about news that broke over a month ago.
Yeah, but it's not like the title or anything is like based on the news story, Like when you watch it or when you click on it, you don't immediately know until you start watching it.
But it's funny, you work on something that you're proud of, and then you like watch it back the day of, and you're like, dude, I just made gold. It's kind of over for everybody. And then you watch it back 6 days later, I'm like, this is like a really not great video. Who put this out?
Wait, you think that about this video?
Yeah, there's just so much I would change if I could do it again. Not because of the performance, just like
That's what it seems like. If you
No.
The day of you were like gold, and now you're like meh. I think
that's just because I watched it back, and then I'm just there's so many things that I think I wish I would have said, which is funny because it took me 3 full days to write this video. It was a week straight working on this one. Yeah, but anyway, we got a good video coming up next week. Gonna do a video on the
spoilers.
iPhone Ultra.
Oh,
iPhone
okay.
Fold. iPhone Fold.
Oh boy, Oh, that's like our worst nightmare because we've been hoping that it wasn't going to ship, and now it's to the point where we have to make videos about it. No bueno.
It's funny because I was kind of dreading talking about it, and then I was editing some of the video today when I had a couple minutes to kill, and I was like, this is it's kind of at minimum it's interesting watching myself edit an iPhone video where I'm watching, and it's like, that is like having a screen on the front and the back is different. Like that's a new thing.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. At some point in the video, did you convince yourself? Because everyone, the jokes are John and Sam. They're shit-talking foldable phones, but the minute Apple does it, they're going to love it. Are you falling into that trap?
I kind of play into that for 80% of the video, and then at the end of the video, I give my true opinion, which I'll leave you, with bated breath to hear my final take.
All right.
But as a spoiler, my actual opinion is basically what we've said forever. And
okay, good. Well, you even had me in the first half.
It's going to be interesting. It's not... If Apple actually drops to the foldable phone, it's going to be crazy interesting.
Yeah.
It's just... I mean, yeah, I'm sure they're gonna do some crazy stuff in software where you can run apps side by side and all kinds of
I don't
fun
know
stuff, you know. But
anything about it, so I'm gonna learn everything from your video. What if I watch your video and I change my mind?
I mean, I don't think you should. I think folding phones are still just kind of a distraction.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna stand on business.
I think this is the rare thing where like they just kind of perfected it immediately.
Isn't that what it doesn't Quinn say that? Snazzy Labs?
Yeah, he
smartphones
says
are undefeated.
Smartphone.
Oh, that's a way smarter way to say that than what I did.
He's the best. I love him.
I saw you and him get into a little meat beef. Wow, that's unfortunate
kind of a double
wording
thing.
for that. I did not do that intentionally.
Yeah. Well, how do you like your steak cooked? Because I think this is very important to address.
Meat rare to medium rare, and
That's
you like yours
insane.
ruined. I mean, we all know this.
I like mine cooked, and other people like their meat raw. Dude, here's the thing about Quinn.
It's not
this
raw.
man. He tweets a lot. Like,
For
for
someone
somebody
that
that was
hates
like,
Elon,
yeah. Oh, here we go. He said,
dude,
"Meat Daddy
he
is
cooked
back."
the fuck out of that. Oh my, Whew. That's perfectly cooked. Hell yeah, Quinn.
Moo. That's what the steak is saying, dude.
No,
'cause it's still
I
cooked.
want my steak, like when I sit down with my steak and someone, you know how at the restaurants they're like, let's cut into it and tell us if you like it. If they cut into it and it looks like a good vet could bring it back, that is the best form of steak.
That is insane. I can't even find my tweet. Did he hide my tweet?
I remember. I hope not. That'd be hilarious. I remember. I know what your tweet was. It was like, imagine eating raw meat in 2025 or something like that.
Yes,
like, you made
I
it
think
seem archaic.
I have to find this. Oh yeah,
Good thing you
I
don't
forgot I
tweet.
really use Twitter. Yeah, I said, yeah, eating raw meat is crazy. Got super ratioed. He said I can't spot a reverse sear, and then I showed a picture of properly cooked
Do you know
meat.
what a reverse sear is?
I don't know what a sear is.
You what? Searing
I'm
meat,
joking.
like
Okay, yeah,
the crust on the outside of the steak. That's searing.
Yes.
Usually, you put raw steak in pan. Immediately, it starts searing, and then the heat starts going through the inside too, and cooks the inside. Reverse sear is when you cook the inside first, and then at the end of when it's at its final temperature, which that looks like, Quinn, you're gonna have to tell me, looks like 127. You pull it out. And then you quickly, like a minute on each side, at like 500 degrees, sear the outside. So you sear last. Hence, reverse sear. And it's wonderful and delicious. If you're telling me, if Quinn made you that,
Oh
you
yeah, I would
wouldn't
not touch
try,
that.
You wouldn't try it?
Dude, when it's the same color as my shirt.
But come on, man. You would. What if it's delicious and you're missing out? Is it just
don't
like the
like-
concept of it that freaks you out?
I don't like to eat food that's the same color as me on the inside.
But because
Because I would like to be cooked.
It is the same color as you on the inside. Just because you cook it till it's burnt to a crisp and it changes color, it's still the same thing. It's still an animal that was living.
I mean, that's what they say, right? But speaking of being cooked,
I saw a cow the other day that had a door on its side that if you open the door, you can put your whole arm in its stomach for science. And I don't think that cow signed a waiver or anything. I don't think there's any paperwork there. That seems horrible.
well, speaking of things that are
I'd rather
horrible,
be dead. I'd rather you kill me than have a door that you can just put your whole arm through to get to my stomach. That's horrific.
Well, that's where we're going next. Speaking of things that are going to ruin your day,
It's not
Did
gonna
you
ruin
see
my day
the-
literally at all. He's saying what, dude. Okay. I would like to challenge Mark Gurman to a boxing match,
that would be awesome.
and you can be the referee. Special guest referee Sam Kohl.
That would be awesome. I know a lot about boxing too, so I'd really know how to call.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
do you think if we do a boxing match, like we should schedule it further out, both commit to training, and then do a boxing match? Or would it be better if we literally just went with the exact knowledge we have right now of boxing and did a boxing match?
I actually think you guys might be in a similar like weight and height class, to be honest.
Well, you've seen both of us in person.
Yeah, because
I've never seen
you
Mark
guys
Gurman
are
in
both
person. I
like
don't even think he's
5'4".
real. To you, I'm 5'4", but I am normal. You know how I read a thing about how Trump is apparently like 6'1". I read that he's actually 5'10".
Whoa.
which is like makes me not sure. I'm pretty close to the height of our president, you know.
Whoa.
So that's pretty average, I think.
Should I go stand next to him and then I'll be like the decider of
the
actual height?
Yeah, I don't think you are allowed to even take a photo op with standing above the president, like the leader of the free world, like that, because you will make him look tiny and insignificant.
Okay, let's talk about this story. Because you said, okay, what's your okay? Gurman says you're wrong. Gurman says it's not two-tone. You said two-tone. Gurman says it's not. Who's right? Fight.
Okay. You're evil. You're evil. Because you get to be safe no matter what. You get to be friends with everybody, and you just get to set me up to get smashed. Okay. Yeah. So, how do I not... Teach me how to not freak out right now. Do I need to breathe a certain way? Is there a spell that you can cast? Is there something I gotta eat?
Yeah, let me cast a spell.
A drink I can drink to calm me down? Kava tea or something? Yes,
green tea, especially.
Okay. So, for audio listeners, on the screen right now is a iPhone 17 Pro mock-up that you've seen them all.
Well, not actually, because we're on the screen right now. So you just lied to them.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, now it's on the screen. Exactly what you've been seeing. Okay. Now, when I put out my leak, okay? When I put out my video, 3 months ago or something like that, the current rumors as they stood was there was a horizontal camera bar. At the very top, it didn't make much sense. Sam's theory made the absolute most sense, which was that horizontal camera bar exists, like we're hearing, but it's actually below the Face ID array. So just a little bit down the back of the phone. And there were rumors of like two-tone, like glass back to, so MagSafe was still there, all that other stuff. We put out our video that said, actually, camera array is going to stay in the same triangular...
Yes, triangle gang.
...thing, but there will be, like, it will extend to the other end of the phone. We don't know why. We don't know the purpose. There's been really good speculation of, like, hey, you got ESR on. Me too.
Yeah, dude. Sponsored this.
I got ESR on, too.
One video. No, wait, dude. It's almost like they sponsored us.
They like extend the whole thing, and there's speculation that it's for the tetraprism or periscope lens, to fit better in there, which would be great. Otherwise, it just looks kind of goofy, and it looks so goofy that, of course, everyone at first is like, "That can't be real." And
you know what Mark Gurman said?
Gurman's first response was,
he said it's a lie.
Yes, this is a lie, and it's based on this fake sketch from January, a tweet from Majin Buu, where I believe he found a sketch on Weibo, which matched our leak, and turns out was absolutely correct and not fake. Yeah. And so now, the same guy that called that fake, okay, he has now come out and said, gonna look like that. But he chose one detail that supposedly is supposed to make me look like our leak was wrong. This is classic Mark Gurman maneuvers. Classic. Mark, there's iOS 19 is going to come out and look exactly the way we showed you, and he's going to be like, actually, 10 pixels off, so incorrect. That's what he's going to say.
He's going to go, as I reported.
As I reported, yeah. So, okay. If you needed any further evidence that the iPhone 17 Pro was going to look that fucky, I think you would now have all the answers you need. It's going to look like that. It's going to look bad. The main detail, the main thing that separated what I said versus what Gurman said, is Gurman says that camera bar, horizontal camera bar at the top, is going to be the same color tone as the back of the phone.
Which I can show you on the screen for everybody watching if you want to know what we're talking about.
Thank you. Fair enough. I don't know why 95 Mac didn't use that for Gurman's thing. Anyway, so in my leak, I had also said there's no, like, I had not seen a window, like where there were previous concepts where, like, the back of the phone is metal, but the Apple logo, a little bit above the Apple logo and all the way down is a glass window, so MagSafe would still work, so wireless charging would still work. I didn't see that. So I also said, no, that's not going to happen. And in all of the CADs and prototypes that I had seen, you can literally find me saying exactly this on GeniusBar, on this very show. I said, I'm not saying it's not going to be the same tone. I'm saying what I saw on every version of what I saw, even the color versions, had a black camera bar on both iPhone 17 Pro and iPhone 17 Air. That is the only detail that is actually being disputed here by Mark Gurman in a weird package that makes it seem like all of it is wrong, which is not the case. He's saying exactly what we said, just with one detail tweaked.
Yeah, but this looks ugly.
That does somehow look worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, the black looks way cooler.
Okay, thoughts,
I like
Sam?
the black
As an Apple analyst, the person that has to take all of these leaks, absorb them all, and make them make sense. You are unbiased.
I feel like the black would make it look more like new and different.
An iPhone, I feel like. I don't know why.
But, yeah, I mean, I guess if they just extend the glass. I mean, basically what he's saying is, like, they're just going to extend the glass all the way across. Like, instead of the glass stopping now, it's just going to go. Oh, wait, it's actually really hard to see with the exposure.
Is that a real phone? Oh, yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. I promise. Oh, there we go. We can kind of see it. But yeah, it's like that little glass camera bump is just gonna go across all the way to the back on the top. Which I guess makes sense if the periscope is being like rotated to be longer or bigger, or thicker.
It's like, I love how, I'm sorry, what were his exact wording of that? Like, if you look at the 95 Mac article, what's the title for that again?
His exact wording is, the iPhone 17 Pro won't have a two-toned back, I'm told. The camera area will be the same color as the rest of the device.
Okay, but what, in his article, he said, it won't look radically different? Was that it? He's like, unlike the renders you're seeing online.
He said, this speaks to the more gradual changes that Apple's making. The iPhone 17 Pro isn't a major departure from current models.
Which is literally what we said.
And then he says in his first line, he said, some images online show a two-tone design with a dark black camera block on the top of a silver iPhone back. Those are, like many rappers on the internet, not an accurate representation of what's to come.
I think, if any of you are wondering about the beef between Gurman and I in this iOS 19 saga, that is your biggest predictor of what you're going to see. He's telling you that what I leaked 3 months ago that ended up being accurate and true is not an accurate representation because a color was wrong. Supposedly. We don't actually have it confirmed yet. So what does that tell you about the iOS 19 leak?
I do think Gurman is becoming the gaslighting final boss.
He is terrible, dude. He has these he's taunting me. Like, there was an article, I can't remember who wrote it. I want to say Macworld or somebody, I don't know, said something like Prosser's directly firing back at Gurman. Gurman, of course, doesn't know Prosser exists. I don't think anything has made me more fucking angry. Obviously, he's literally directly referencing us on multiple occasions. Obviously. But because he's not saying my fucking name, and he's not saying Front Page Tech, he has actual journalists being like, oh, he doesn't even know he exists. You fucking fuck! God, he's so frustrating.
I just want you to know.
He is gaslighting me.
I want you to know that he is watching this. I know this for a fact. He is watching this because he watches every episode of the GeniusBar.
Of course.
And he is laughing his ass off because it's working. He's driven you to madness.
It's terrible. It's I'm crashing out in front of everybody.
Is that the episode crashing out on Mark Gurman?
Who knew? It wasn't even gonna be another iPhone 14 leak that was completely wrong that got me to crash out. No. When I'm fucking firing on all cylinders, Mark Gurman has gaslit me into a shell of a human.
Yeah, he does that.
Do you think it takes every ounce of control in him, or do you think he's completely confident? Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. Do you think he's not naming because Bloomberg will get in trouble and he's trying to watch what he says and how he says it, or do you think he is actually this calm and this much of a fucking fuck?
Well, I'm still not convinced that he's a human.
I don't think he is, but you saw him in person.
I think it might be an AI.
Huh.
You ever seen the movie I, Robot with Will Smith from 2004?
You think that's Mark? What was he like in person? Did you see any cords?
Well, I saw a large battery pack in his pocket.
Interesting.
We know how Vision Pro works, so imagine a whole humanoid robot.
Does he have a glass back?
He has a white face and brown hair.
Oh, interesting. That sounds like an accurate representation of him. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's an interest. It is weird. I do wonder why he's like. It feels weird to confidently say things that you're not actually know for sure. Like
him?
Like that he's just like that's fake. But like I guess he obviously didn't know.
He didn't know. He literally what dude?
That's weird.
Somebody has to go find these clips, make a compilation, because Mark has been quiet and hiding everything. I have been coming on this show saying stuff with my full chest. And the day that he called this fake, I came on GeniusBar and said, what did I say? We know exactly what timeline this was. I said, Mark Gurman, 3 weeks ago, didn't know when the iPhone SE was coming out. How does he know what the iPhone 17 is going to look like in September? He hasn't seen it. Clearly, if he thought it was fake when I leaked it, and now suddenly it's not fake, that dude had not seen shit.
Here's the real question.
What do you think his face was when he saw it or heard? Do you think do you think he reached out to a source and was like, hey, what does it look like? And someone sent him my render? And he went, fuck.
And then he immediately DM'd the render artist and was like, hey, is this real? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find the real thing that I'm thinking about. Sorry, it's going back really far.
Apple Track is very active. My goodness.
No, I mean, this is all pretty old. I've been pretty inactive on socials lately. I don't know. I just feel like I got...
Well, because social media... something's wrong, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing feels the same. Nothing feels real. Nothing. It doesn't feel like social media matters in the slightest.
Yeah. Okay, because here's my question. This is what I'm trying to find. It's going to be right around here, and I want to know your thoughts, because I think something may have changed that we have not discussed. Here it is. This is exactly what I'm looking for. You know how initially we had this cut out for MagSafe?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's going to be there when it comes out, or you think it's going to be a metal back?
I could just tell you what I heard, which is the best I can do. Okay. So behind the scenes, one of the best sources that I have, to make you feel good, Sam, for 90% of the time was steadfast that your renders were accurate.
Well.
But I had heard from more sources that he's just one source, and there were multiple other sources that presented way more evidence that it looked the way I showed that it looked. Mm-hmm. And even when I put out the video showing what it was going to look like, the other source was like, listen, man, I just got to tell you how it is. I'm not changing my stance on this.
Mm-hmm. For a while.
Like, so do with that what you will. I'm like, oh, shit. So I had a little bit of doubt. And then, I don't know, a month and a half ago or so, he called me and said, turns out you were right. And the more exaggerated renders that are there are actually planned for next year. So, like, the stuff Sam has shown is not incorrect. It may have just been early.
That's funny because I heard the same thing.
Which lines up with what Gurman says. I mean, Gurman did not... Gurman never would put his name on telling you the details of what the next phone's going to look like, what iPhone 18 is going to look like. Not in a million years. But he did say that the more significant redesign is being saved for iPhone 20. Or the 20th anniversary, sorry.
Which would technically be next year, I guess?
Yeah. So... what was on screen right now, what you saw in Sam's videos may literally have been 2 years early, year and a half early.
Yeah, just change that 17 to an 18.
Yeah, and boom. Actually, you could just probably reuse all those models for next year.
Yeah. Okay, but here's what I'm asking.
Because as far as I know, I mean, people are going to write whatever they want to write anyway. As far as I know, That is exactly it.
I mean, yeah, that's what I've heard too, but of course I don't leak, so I don't say anything because I'm a little snake. I am curious though, like we keep seeing these CADs with that MagSafe cutout this year.
Yeah.
And I think that cutout might be here on the 17 Pro.
Really?
And I think I know why.
Yeah, you need to show your work on this one, partner.
And I'm going to say this, I'm saving this for my next video, but
wait, so
I figured it out, right? Okay, the idea is that Apple figured out how to make wireless charging work through metal. That's like the current understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they did. I don't think there's a way to do that easily or properly across hundreds of millions of iPhones that they have to produce or reliably.
So are you saying that there is going to be a window thing?
I think there's going to be a window, and I think I know why there's going to be a window.
Would that fall under radical new design? Because Grumman says no radical redesign.
I mean, it would look pretty different to have
That's a pretty
elongated...
stark change.
And I think, again, the reason... Because, again, it's like, why are they extending... just to pull up your render again. Like, why would they extend the window? Right? Why would we... There's got to be a reason for Apple to do this, right? It's probably something with the architecture underneath. Let me share my screen. If we go all the way back up to the top, my God, I do tweet a lot. Yeah. Why are they extending it? Okay. Imagine how weird it would look if there was a window on the back and it wasn't extended. Because then you just have this weird little square in the top right.
That's very interesting.
You see what I'm saying? So
wow,
here we
that
go back
did not
down.
take long to get me to consider that. Yeah. Like if it wasn't actually if the Y for that horizontal camera bar wasn't actually because periscope lens and the Y was purely visual to match the window that's down there. That would be that sounds like Apple to me. Not add anything extra, just make it look different.
I agree. So it would look weird if it basically all I'm saying, if the camera bump wasn't extended with that window, it'd look weird. So
how long did you have to think of that before you came up with that theory? I would have never thought that.
The theory's that, here's the actual reason that they're doing the window. It's because I think I was wrong about them figuring it out. I think there's probably like prototypes where they got that to work, but I don't think that that's actually going to be mass producible at scale yet. But I do think, why would Apple add a window? They never justify design by just making it look different. They justify it for functionality.
Supposedly.
And I'm hedging my bet on this. If we see this window, they're not doing it because of the design or because it's like, oh, we need to just sell more. They're doing it because this is the year we finally get reverse wireless charging. And this is going to be how they sell the feature, is the pros look like this.
And then people will be like, hey, your iPhone, why does it have that? And then you're like, watch this.
Yeah, I can charge your AirPods. I can charge your other iPhone.
And then Gurman can finally say, as I reported 5 years ago.
Yeah, because this makes a lot of sense, right? If they're doing, they want it to look different. Okay, go to a different chassis on the outside, MagSafe cutout. It's going to be how they market MagShare or whatever they call the wireless charging feature.
Oh Jesus, you're probably right.
And that's
you
what I
are
think.
literally just spitting all the marketing and are you just guessing right now?
I mean, yeah, but
because
I've been doing this for 12 years.
I anticipate the September event happening and somebody like just cutting up clips of them saying it, clips of you saying it, clips of them saying, clips of you saying it from months ago.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw real material of the phone from people that actually work there, and you have convinced me. So
that's just what I'm saying. I think the window would be. It's tough for me though, and the thing is, there's no way they get rid of. Well, then again, they got rid of wireless charging and MagSafe on the 16E, so it's like. But there's no way. There's too much of an accessory market for MagSafe. People would be actively mad.
Yeah, they
if they got rid of it on all the phones. So there's just no way, right? So it's either like they somehow built the magnets into the metal,
like
but then it's like
infused it. Like I don't know.
The thing is, if you're just gonna change to the window next year, Like, it seems like you would just kind of do it this year, because then
that's
then
a
you're marketing
complete.
the
That's
feature.
so much R&D wasted. Like, that's actually innovating for 12 months.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they're going to do the window eventually, there's no way they would be like, we made a phone that looks clean as hell that you don't need a window for, and then the next year being like, JK, here's the window back. Like, there's no way that would just be silly. That would feel
I
like
could
a
also
step
see
back.
the window just being confused. Like, that's what the internal chassis looks like, and will actually be covered by something else. And we have just like seen sketches and CADs of that and got confused. But
I'm thinking right now, if I have to bet, I think the window's going to be there.
I think
that's
this
why
is
they're
spicy
extending
as
the
hell.
camera. It looks interesting. I think the window would be there as a way to balance the back of the phone out. It would allow them to do reverse wireless charging. This
is all so weird, dude.
But it is interesting that we are in April and like we still don't know for sure.
If this is the next iPhone, well, sorry, I forget. The next iPhone is once we start talking about it, it's the current iPhone. We're talking about the next one. iPhone 18 or the 20th iPhone XX?
Will they do that? That'd be crazy. I thought about that. There's no way XX.
iPhone
that
20?
sounds dumb as hell.
If it does look like this, it makes this year seem really silly. Why change the way the phone looks? I know Mark Gurman says it's not a radical redesign, but iPhones have looked exactly the same for a long time. This is a big departure. Like from a distance, you would be able to see that's a new iPhone. Why would you have it look completely different for a year and then make it look completely different again?
I'm sure, sure, would it be cool if what I showed is the iPhone 18? Yeah, it would be cool. That is, I know that's a prototype that exists. But at the same time, I'm sure there will be changes. I'm sure there will be, tweaks and updates to this to make it look balanced or better. Because, it does look kind of uneven to have it just kind of centered there and then space.
I can't tell from this render, but is that a unibody?
No, not on this one, I don't think.
Okay. Couldn't tell.
Not on this one. Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird time. There's a lot that we don't know about these phones. But I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if Gurman was like, Sam was more right than John because your camera bar matches the color of the phone.
That's true. Yeah. As I reported, Sam Kohl was right.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a nice day out. I'm just gonna go ahead and Google myself. Oh my God, Sam! There's so much about me on the internet that I really wish wasn't there.
Yeah.
Am I just screwed?
No, dude. Thanks to DeleteMe that sponsored this episode of the GeniusBar. There's
hey,
hope.
DeleteMe! What do they do? Do they come to my house and delete me?
Dude, DeleteMe works on your behalf. They say, hey, people collecting your personal data, they selling your data. These data brokers got your stuff. You said you don't want it out there. Here's what they do. They work on your behalf to get rid of that stuff.
Okay.
People got your name,
yes,
your contact info, your social security number, your home address.
Yep.
DeleteMe works. Let me make this clear, because normally you have to reach out to each of these guys individually. It'd be this whole process where you got to be like, hey, stop using my data. And then they take forever. And it's like, wait, did I contact them or did I contact somebody else? Now I got to contact these other 40 places. No, with DeleteMe, you get to see these privacy reports that are like, hey, this is what we did. This is what we've been working on. This what's haps. All right.
Okay.
And they do it continuously. So it's not just once. It's not just, one time we're going to check. It's like, oh, new guy popped up. Bam.
It's like you put the protection on and never took it off.
Exactly, guys. So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for DeleteMe. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your DeleteMe plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/GeniusBar and use promo code GeniusBar at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/GeniusBar and enter code GeniusBar at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/GeniusBar, code
GeniusBar. And thank you, DeleteMe. Keep your private life private it's great. They nailed it the first try.
I mean, we'll see. It's gonna be a very exciting year. I mean, we still got
This feels like classic GeniusBar. No tariff talks. Let's talk about the next two iPhones.
Yeah, for 30 minutes. I'm stoked. I mean, I'm really, really looking forward to this year of iPhones. It seems like they're going to start hitting their stride again. After they got done essentially lying about Apple Intelligence, they can...
There was, I don't want to go over this article because it's long.
Talking about the New York Times one?
No, sorry.
Information
I'm going to text you. My favorite article that anyone has ever written about us. It's an article on Medium. It says Apple leakers just went nuclear and we're all witnesses to the greatest iOS leak in history. And the photo is an AI-generated fight between me and Mark Gurman.
Oh God, what is?
Can you tell who's who? It's an incredibly well-written article, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because it focuses on like the drama and the tea of it all more than the actual news, which is literally that's what this is. Like, we're just playing into the, at least on Front Page Tech side. I don't know what Mark Gurman's doing. We are playing into the bit here, and they, they're like, no matter who's right, we all win because we got to see iOS 19 early and get entertained. And it's just a very, very clever, funny article, and that's an incredibly troubling photo. Okay.
We should talk about
Okay.
We should talk about this new article though.
If we want to, I love you, Mark Gurman. But if we
Yeah.
want to talk about the actual GOAT, the greatest of all
He's
time.
taking Mark's place for sure.
Unequivocally, it's not close. It is Wayne Ma. Do we both agree?
Oh yeah. No, because Wayne just says facts and then it's just true. There's no read my newsletter. There's no well actually as I reported, Wayne's just like iPhone Air is going to be this.
He doesn't need to remind you that he reported it because he's never been wrong.
Yeah. I think there was like one or two small details he's gotten wrong, but he just really has not been wrong ever.
Wasn't he the one that showed us Vision Pro 4 years early?
Yeah. Yeah,
nuts,
they showed the
nuts.
sketch. Okay, this article I think needs to be discussed because it actually it came out the day that I released my video, which is why I added an addendum at the end talking about parts of it. But it was really interesting because it was weird the timing of my video because I didn't know that any of this was happening. But there were 2 or 3 reports that came from the highest publications in the world of like the information, the New York Times, that basically backed up exactly what I had said in my video, which was I was just like, this is what I'm seeing from my end.
Yeah,
and they were guessing. Like, sources inside of Apple have told us directly. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, so this article basically goes in depth about it.
Very revealing. It's so good.
I don't want to read word for word, but it basically there's a couple of key things I want to talk about because they are actually fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, so here it says Apple's Siri team, when they initially showed the demo of like smarter Siri, didn't actually know how it would work when they showed it off. There was like 2 models. One was called Minnie Mouse that would run on device. One was called Mighty Mouse. It would run off device on Apple servers. And basically, they just couldn't figure out what to do for a while. They were just like arguing about what they should do amongst themselves for months, and it was this indecision that made this delay happen. Is they were like, we got to make this work on device. No, we can't do that. We need to do off device. We could never do it on device, and we're all paying for that.
Yeah.
So that was interesting that they just
it's so interesting that from the outside looking in, like you said for your video, how bad is it that with no internal knowledge we could see what was happening?
Yeah,
it was kind of painfully obvious.
And then it goes into say, really what was interesting is what I've believed from the beginning and what we've said from the beginning, which this is a leadership problem. This is not an Apple engineering talent problem. It's an engineering problem. Mm-hmm. And it's basically John Giandrea, who is the head of AI at Apple, came from Google. Google is extremely lax. I mean, I know somebody that works there. He makes $300K a year and works 15 hours a week. I mean, it's incredible. Like,
yeah.
To be fair, that's because he's a genius and just does 40 hours of working at 15 hours.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah, he's an actual machine. Are we talking about the same person?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, Google has a very different culture than Apple.
You could say that.
John Giandrea, and this we've seen this time and time again. We saw this with the ex-head of Burberry who came to Apple to lead the stores. Angela Anhertz, I think, was her name. she did not really fit in with Apple's culture because she wasn't from Apple. Apple has a really weird culture. It's extremely culty. I've heard this from so many different employees over the years and from reporting across the board that it's just like, it's hard to blend in. It's a very unique culture. And John Giandrea was very like, guys, if you can't figure it out, it's okay. We're going to get through this together. Which like I get.
It's like the Little League coaches where they're like, listen, you don't got to win as long as you have fun.
Yeah. So basically, there's these two people. It was John Giandrea and this guy called, what was his name? Walker? Something Walker. Yes, Robbie Walker, who is his lieutenant, who oversaw day-to-day operations. And it was not only John Giandrea being like pretty lax about this whole thing, but Walker, his sub-lieutenant, was like, they say, quote, was seen as lacking both ambition and an appetite for taking risks on designing future versions of Siri. So they talk about how Siri has been passed around Apple as this hot potato. Nobody wants it because it's just so far beyond repair that it's...
I mean, would you take it on? I don't think I would touch it.
I want to fix it. Yeah, but how? Somebody's got to restart from scratch. That's how you fix Siri.
Dump it.
So basically, and then it goes into like Siri had problems. Giandrea said he could fix Siri because he worked at Google. He couldn't. He's quieter and non-confrontational compared to the rest of the Apple execs. And then there's Walker, who was unwilling to take big risks. And it said, this was really funny, by the way. This is what really got me, because I'm like, dude, is Tim Cook paying attention to what's going on? It says, one Siri leader often criticized by colleagues was Walker, who joined Apple in 2013 and became responsible for daily operations at the end of 2022. In the eyes of critics, Walker was unwilling to take the big risks we talked about and focus on metrics that didn't move the needle as much on its performance. It says, for instance, he often celebrated small wins by reducing by minute percentages the delay between when someone asked Siri a question and when it responded. Another Walker project was removing the "Hey" from the "Hey Siri" voice command.
Wow.
Which took more than 2 years to accomplish. He had these engineers working on 2 years to remove a word from the trigger phrase.
What? That took 2 years? We're never going to get personal context. Oh, God.
Yeah, that was tough.
We're never getting it.
It's coming, apparently. The New York Times says it's coming in the fall. But
we just talked about how the window is going to be there and Apple doesn't do any. They always say it's for a functional change. Siri looks completely different.
What's kind of cool is that this article kind of hypes up Federighi. It says Federighi is tough and demanding.
This is propaganda.
yeah.
Apple watched the show. We're like, should they fire Craig? And they're like, actually, put this out, Wayne.
Yeah. It says that apparently in the AI group, they were getting higher pay and faster promotions than people in software engineering with Craig, even though they were basically working less. AI groups seem to be able to take longer vacations and leave early on Fridays, while software engineering under Craig faced more demanding work schedules. It's almost like you can see this play out. Maybe leaving early on Fridays and taking vacation. Like, I just don't know who was running. Was Tim Cook not using this? Was he just taking their word for AI stuff? I guess. It
seems like it.
Because there's no way you could
He's too busy trying to put all the iPhones on a plane.
Okay, I want to skip through some of this and go to this last part, because this was really, great. Wayne is also just like an incredible writer, more than even being a journalist. So it says, last June, oh, okay, this is just insane. It says normally, well, we know how it would work. Normally at a live Apple event, they would do a live demo and it'd have to actually work. But this is not what happened. It says, during an onstage demo at the conference last WWDC 2024, one Apple executive asked Siri when her mom's flight would land. The voice assistant accessed her email and real-time flight data to provide the current arrival time. She then asked Siri to remind her about her lunch plans, and the assistant plucked the details from her iPhone's messages and plotted a ride from the airport to the restaurant. Quote, among members of the Siri team at Apple, though, the demonstration was a surprise. They had never seen working versions of the
Could you imagine, dude?
Could you imagine being a
They
Siri
literally do
engineer
what
being
we
like,
do.
yo, that's sick.
Yeah, they literally do what we do. They made some After Effects Figma mock-up and posted it as the live event, and all the Siri people are like,
Whoa.
what? Literally, they didn't have a single working model. It's all just CGI. All of it.
Quote, talking about the members of the Siri team, quote, they had never seen working versions of the capabilities, according to a former Apple employee. At the time, the only new feature from the demonstration that was activated for our test devices was the colorful rainbow that goes around the edges.
Which is pretty...
I mean, it's super pretty. Still love that. But yeah, it ends up with the same insinuation that we have left, which is when Apple showed off their AI, the stock went up, and it seemed like Apple had figured it out, even though they didn't. Isn't that crazy that Apple? I mean, this confirms what we believed, which is that Apple showed this off before it was ever working.
Which, in hindsight,
makes a lot of sense.
In retrospect, it makes you look a little further down the timeline too. Like, where were things when they showed Vision Pro for the first time?
Yeah.
It
took a while.
I mean, this is... What is the... There's a thing where it's like, it's not the... When somebody gets caught doing something, it's like, it's not their first time doing it, it's the first time they got caught. And that's like what this whole thing with Siri is. This is definitely not the first time things have been falling apart there. This is just when it's obvious enough for all of us to know and find out. So the way this has been running, I wonder if it's been the same if it was the same for Vision Pro, and it was just rushed, and no one actually had a plan, and there is no plan, and there's still no plan, and I don't know, but it just feels like Siri is such an integral part of your iPhone experience.
Use it every day still.
Even when it's terrible, yeah. So I don't understand how it's not the utmost priority and how they would speak on anything before they knew it was ready. 2/3 of the time it works, but like, oh, that's behind the scenes stuff. Like they're apparently internally 2 out of 3 times it works. Yeah. But like, what does that mean? In what context? What command? What, like 2/3 of the entirety of the software only works 2/3 of the time? Or 2/3 during certain commands, 2/3 of a specific feature? Like, what does that even mean? And I don't know if you guys know, but failing 1 out of 3 times is not a good...
Yeah.
That's not good. That cannot ship.
Agreed. I just found it was so interesting. Like, I make a video called Apple Has a Problem. Everybody gets mad at me. They're like, you just want negative click, bad view. You hate Apple because it sells video. But then New York Times says an article. It's literally titled, "What is wrong with Apple?"
Yeah.
And nobody bats an eye. They're like, oh yeah, you're pop off New York Times.
Love that picture.
I've been saying this for 2 years. I've been saying this for 2 years. You've been saying this for 2 years on the podcast. Nobody listens.
I know. And isn't it tragic? You could, there are so many clips, and we are on record so many times. We haven't deleted any episodes. You could just go back. You can just go back and look.
Yeah.
I can't, it does not feel like any of this is going to let up anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because, like, when these articles come out, do you think Apple's stressing? Do you think Tim is stressing? Or do you think he's like, it's bad press, it's going to happen. It's part of the job.
I think he should be stressing, yeah.
I think he should too.
If I saw an article that said, what's wrong with Sam Kohl, I'd be stressing.
Well, that's what, I'm worried that he's not stressing, because if he's not, that means it's gonna get worse before it's going to get better. There's going to have to be something more substantial that awakens them. Does Tim even know this is happening?
Let's see.
Where is he?
Where are you at, Tim? No, he has no idea.
Tell us about yourself. Take the survey.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How do I
not do that?
There's no option to close that. Yeah, I don't want to tell them about me. Yeah. So I don't know. Just very interesting that in the same week, Few articles released, and yeah, my video came out. Although I do think, I think my video may have. I think that might have been the final nail in the coffin for me with Apple. Like with Apple PR.
You think so? That's it? You don't think they'll forget?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
do you know something?
No, I don't know for. Well,
Have
I don't
you
know
heard
for
something?
sure. I just know what I've seen, which is nothing. Like, you know how Beats dropped the new like USB cables this week?
No. No, I don't know.
Here, breaking news on GeniusBar.
No.
Beats came out with new charging cables, which
Something
are really
that
random.
normally you would have heard about ahead
Well,
of time?
I would usually they'd be like, "Hey, do you want to like try these?" And then I didn't hear from them this time.
No.
And it coincidentally was right after I released a video where I insinuated that it actually didn't matter if Apple lied. It just matters that they didn't deliver, and that's going to hurt customer trust. And, you know, to be fair, I've probably been the most vocal person on YouTube about Apple intelligence and Apple's issues in the past year because it's been frustrating to me. So, I understand if they're...
I love how early you started, though. And for months, people shit on you. Like, for months, you were just being negative.
You know, we've both been doing this for 12 years, and sometimes you just get a gut feeling about something. Sometimes, like, I guess what people don't realize as well is long-term, me making negative Apple videos hurts my channel long-term.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Apple getting worse does not help. Okay, I get one good video, but I've been doing this 12 years. I'm not here for the one video. I'm not here for a quick payday and then moving on to something else.
There's also, you're taking on consequences of that. Like, the people that are like, you're just doing this for clickbait. Do you even know how that works? Like, by even thinking about making that video, you are hurting your relationship with your current audience who subscribed because
they love
you said
Apple
something
too.
positive and they love it so much and they want you to confirm their bias. And then you come out saying something negative and that's for views?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the comments, like people, you know, there are a lot of Apple sheep in the audience that feel personally hurt that I would say these negative things. And I get when you're emotionally attached to this company and you see a part of yourself in them. I understand.
They don't give a single shit about you though. Like, it's clearly they don't give a shit. They won't even give you a Siri that works.
You gotta, I don't know. You gotta tell the truth. And I really do think that as Apple continues to do this weird stuff, I do think we're just in a different era of media where people are realizing like, oh wait, the guy that gets invited to every Apple event that never says a negative word about them, like what is my relationship with that creator? Mm-hmm. You know, like what is that creator worth at the end of the day? Okay, they showed me the shiny thing and then they never follow up when the shiny thing turns out to be ugly. Yeah. You know, and like I've said this before, but like my loyalty, and I'll be honest, there was a period of time where I didn't feel this way. I really thought my loyalty was to Apple and I really wanted to go to Apple events and do Apple things, but I've realized that's not, and this is advice for just any creators out there, like the loyalty always has to be to your audience, and it should be, and like that's what's given me my longevity, and that's why I'm grateful to this day that I have my job, and that's why I'm grateful that people still. I just spilled Diet Coke all
over my fucking keyboard.
How'd that happen?
I bumped it.
Oh, no.
How many keyboards have I fucking ruined I'm sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Is your keyboard okay? Is it going to short out?
I'd probably... This is like the fourth keyboard on this show that I've ruined on camera.
You know they make lids for that type of thing.
Not on cans, they don't. God.
You gotta go back to plastic bottles, up your microplastics.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's very sticky.
In myself and everything.
But yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I like, don't get me wrong. Does it hurt when I see all of my peers at an Apple event and I'm not there? Yeah, it does. Cause I'm like, man, I've been working hard too. But at the same time, it's like I very much made peace with it by saying, yeah, but who am I doing this for? I mean, obviously I'm doing it for me because like I care about this stuff, but I'm doing it for my audience. And if the reason I'm making the videos that I'm making is I don't want people to buy the iPhone 16 because it's a trap. And that's why that I feel that way strongly. It's just like if you don't need a phone right now, I'd super recommend waiting because Apple promised you something they didn't deliver on, and I don't think that that's right. I don't think a company worth $3 trillion should be able to market a Siri feature on the front of their website for months and then never deliver and act like nothing happened and now start deleting ads and deleting parts of the website. And because they got class action, I mean, there was three more class action lawsuits filed this week. It's hard to keep track of all of this. They're in deep trouble, and it just frustrates me that, you know, I wish everybody like would call the spade a spade, and I understand that they can't because it's like, you know, I guess I just wish Apple was like, I don't know. I definitely have a problem with myself where I think of the world and I'm like, man, if everybody was like me, this would be so simple, which is obviously naive and silly, and I don't even know that I'm right. But what I'm trying to say is, whenever there's criticism against me, and this is in my personal life, my private life, whatever, or public life, I always like to face it head on because I very much want to be open to the fact that I could be wrong or I could have like an issue.
Yeah,
and when it comes to, you know, when it comes to Apple, for me, I'm like, if I was them, I'd want to like be better for like this critic, or like I would want to be better for the people that get mad at me. I want to be better for my customers because that's what's right. Sure, the money's great, but the money came from Apple delivering on exactly what they did. That's why they're a $3 trillion company. They showed off something magical. They put it in your hand a week later. That was all their success. And now that they're switching up, it's frustrating that I felt crazy for months saying all of this, and other creators are like, all that does is that guy's negative. I don't like him because it's like, you know, sometimes it's not about money. Like, I don't make the decisions I've made to make the most amount of money. In fact, I've actually been told by other creators recently that I run my business bad and I'm missing out on a lot of money. Yeah. So I need to probably optimize and restructure, but it's like, yeah, I like money. I want cool things, but
I mean,
my loyalty is to people, and you are the same way with your audience as well.
Well, the biggest thing is like, I hate to say it this way, but sometimes, and it sounds like I'm indirectly taking shots at other people, but I promise I'm not. I'm just speaking on like my behalf, and I guess Sam's. You can really tell how seriously you as an audience are being taken by the amount of like, it sounds like a simple metric, but dedicated videos. Like, I have a strict policy that gets me in trouble all the time, that I will not make a single dedicated video. And if you want a dedicated video from Sam, that is a challenge. Like, it's that the amount of money left on the table for not just doing that alone is triple what we make probably.
Oh yeah, I will attest to that. I know you've turned down crazy deals that they've offered you 20, 30 grand for a video, and you've been like, no, I don't do dedicated videos. And I'm very much like at a spot where I don't like to do them often, but like when you get a lot of money at one time, like it allows me to like pay people and expand. And like I've spent more on contractors this year than I've spent in my history. I mean, I'm paying out to people what I used to make in a month back in the day.
Well, you have to because you're making renders for the iPhone 17 and the iPhone 20,
and Fold, and 20 and everything. It's just like, you know, I'm like, for example, I could just milk out and like use other people's renders.
What'd you say?
Milk out. I could like milk it out, like, you know how you milk a cow and you're like pushing substance out of an udder.
I thought the word was MELK, and I was like, I don't know what that. I'm 32.
Milk.
30, how old am I? 31.
You said milk.
31 or 32 years old, and I don't know what milk is. But now I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I don't know how old I am. That's troubling.
We'll figure that out later. Okay. But you know, it's like it would be really easy to basically what I'm saying is I could make a lot more money if I didn't do the renders and stuff. But not only does it help me in the channel, it makes it more fun for me, and it's what I like. It's like my pride of my work, and I'm like silly. I mean, like I talk to other creators all the time, and they're like, "You have 500K on YouTube, and you still edit your own videos?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I get that. Like that.
And
who
listen,
made the rules to that?
they're not wrong. To operate like a business, I should have an editor, and eventually I do want one. But the problem is, I know that, you know, and people laugh and say it's cheesy, but like, and I'm sure you feel this way in the edit. I feel like a surgeon in the edit, and I feel like I'm making a piece of art at the end of the day. I don't care if it's a stupid iPhone video. It's a piece of art and a piece of myself.
That is making the video to me. Like the recording is just.
I hate
like the
recording.
video is not happening while I'm recording. The video happens when I'm like, when I've got 8 Diet Cokes around me and it's peaceful and quiet and I'm just like in the zone and I'm building and crafting. That's I love editing.
No, same. Like it's just, I mean, it for my last video that was like you're probably like pretty simple video. You know, people wouldn't assume that video took me probably 10 to 12 hours to edit. You know,
which
it
is
took me
so
4
funny
hours to record. It took me
because like 3
16
years
hours
ago,
to write. Like, I don't know.
3 years ago, we were putting out. We could make a video in a day.
Yeah.
And now we're like, well, I got to work on the script for 3 days, and then I got to record for 8 hours, and then I got to edit it for 10. So,
and I don't do that because it's it's like, what is there is a definite way I could optimize like money in and work out. There is definitely a way I could optimize that. It'd be like, don't do the renders, cut that. I'd be saving $4 to $6 grand a month there minimum. Then it's like, okay, get an editor that I can pay like $500 a video. Okay. Then I can pump out like 2-3 videos a week of just like whatever Apple does, you know, like there's ways to like optimize it for a business, but every time people say it, it's just, I know that I need to find a better balance in doing everything myself, but I just don't like, I just can't let go of I would need an editor.
You'd have to be a clone of me.
Yeah.
You'd have to know the decisions I would make in the edit.
Yeah. And I think there's a way to train that or like help someone. It's just, what I'm saying is I'm going to have an editor eventually, but the reason I don't is because I'm just not comfortable doing that until it's like just as good as
that would make the process even longer though. Cause like,
I know.
Because then the editor is going to turn a video in, and you're going to watch it back, and you're going to go, I wouldn't have done it that way. Can you change? Like, it would just be,
But it's hard. And I'm just saying all this to say, like, I don't know. I guess it turned into creator corner at the end. But like, if you want to start content, or like,
it usually does.
You know, or you're making content right now, lock in, and also always. The people that watch you matter more than money, sponsors, your friends, or anything else in your life.
It's what's the saying about the fish and teaching you how to fish instead.
You give a man a fish, he eats for a day.
Yes.
You teach a man to fish, he eats for life.
Yes. You by growing your own audience and dedicating your time to them, you're learning how to fish, and you'll be able to eat those fish for years and years and years and years and years. Or you could take a couple big bags from a couple big companies and eat that fish for a couple days.
Yeah, dude, you know how much money I miss out on by only doing Apple? Dude, if I did all tech...
Oh, dude. Dude, if I could just do one video about a robot vacuum and it not be weird, I would love to do it.
See, I kind of like robot... Like, I've actually been looking forward to that.
I love robot vacuums. They're cool.
I kind of love robot vacs. See, I would...
But you couldn't post it on Apple Track. That's what I'm saying. Like,
please, Robo Vac sponsor. I want to post a dedicated because I love. Have you seen?
I love Robo Vac. They're great. They didn't pay for this shit, but they're great.
You're telling me if this company reached out, you wouldn't do a dedicated video on this vacuum?
I've done ads for them, not dedicated, unfortunately. But why isn't it switching to the? Oh, my keyboard's off. Son of a fuck.
Look at this.
I think my keyboard's
dead. This blew my mind. I thought that this was only in the ads. Oh, dude, Quinn made a video. Okay, so first of all, this is not sponsored, by the way, but this blew my fucking mind. Robo Vac. That's who I just called out. Please sponsor me, dude. Okay, so Robo Vacs have been evolving greatly. And I saw this ad, of course it's going to work perfectly. It was this ad from Robo Rock where they showed this new Robo Vac. Not only was it a robot vacuum, it had a AI robot arm built into its head. So like it rolls around like this. Okay. And then when it sees something, like let's say it sees something in front of it, right?
Yeah.
It can go.
I love the illustration currently.
It can go. Pick it up, lift it up, and put it in the trash. And I was like, yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah, I also have a third arm that can pick things up. So, Quinn, which wasn't even sponsored,
is that what's going to come out of that window?
Dude, this is going to blow your fucking mind. This is where we're at. Watch this shit. Unprompted. Oh, it's sensing it. It's like, can't eat that shit. So I got to pick it up.
Can't eat that shit.
This robot. Look at this, dude.
Stop it. Stop it. What the hell? This is so much cooler than Apple Intelligence.
This is a video of a robot vacuum having a second alien robot come out of it and pick up a Kleenex off the ground. But here's where it gets crazy. You're like, okay, what did it do with it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at where this thing does. It knows where a trash can is, dude.
Yeah, it's mapped out the whole house. Yeah.
Look at this. It can put the tissue in the trash can.
Stop it, dude. What the hell?
Are you joking?
And you know what the shame is? This company isn't holding a fucking keynote event and being like, hey, this is what we're going to do, and then deliver. They're just quietly making this stuff and then being like, look, you can buy this now. Look what it does. The future. Dude. That's crazy.
Dude, you're telling me you wouldn't do a dedicated video on that?
No. I would gladly and greatly do an ad for you, though.
Dude, I want to show people this.
What would the title be? If Apple made a robot vacuum.
I'd be like, my loyalty is to you, but this is sick. I care so much about my audience. I need you all to see this.
It's crazy how much better it is, because like 5 years ago they sponsored us, and it was great then. Like watching it make a whole map of my house, and then being able to draw on the map to be like, actually, I only need this area done, or please stay away from this stuff. And it's incredibly accurate and actually efficient, and it vacuums, it mops, it cleans itself. Dude, what the hell?
This is $2,000.
Yeah, it is. It's got a robot in a robot. It's the actual future. How much will you pay for the future? Is it $2,000?
That's so expensive. Wait, daily limit 10 units. Only 10 units are available daily? 9 people already bought one of these today?
Better hurry up. Wow.
Dude, I need to make a dedicated.
What a drug.
I would love to make a dedicated, like, the thing is, I like a dedicated video if it's something that, okay, I take that back. I have done a dedicated video before on things that I don't love, but I've slowed down because my...
Oh, I did a dedicated video for a Dyson vacuum back in the day. That was the last time that ever happened. If you're an OG, that was a tragedy.
What I'm trying to say is John, for rejecting large amounts of money for a dedicated video, he's a better man than me. I will say that.
That's quite literally not true. I punish myself in terrible ways just because I don't want the channel to have that stuff on it.
I will say if Robo Rock reaches out, I will be doing it for
any
free.
Kind of man you want.
Yeah, I will say my compensation is the robot. Just let me keep it.
Yeah. Oh,
anyway, all this to say, yeah, thanks.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with your boys for an hour or so. This felt like a classic GeniusBar. Can you hit the new? For people unaware, he had to buy a new Rodecaster, and this is just like a default sound on it. We didn't actually go out of our way to change the theme song. It's just what happened.
Yeah. By the way, anybody can get this. All you have to do is buy the Rodecaster Pro 2.
That's all you got to do. Or just record the audio of this and play it at the end of your podcast.
But then we would be talking, and people would be like, who are these guys?
So we're promoted forever. GeniusBar. YouTube.com/GeniusBar.
There we go.
Thanks for watching this Strangers podcast. Now go watch ours. What a bang.
Bye.
Oh, bye.